The fourth agreement, always do your best. This is a quick excerpt from the chapter. Under any circumstances, always do your best. No more and no less. But keep in mind that your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. Everything is alive and changing all the time. So your best will sometimes be high quality and other times it will not be as good. When you wake up refreshed and energized in the morning, your best will be better than when you are tired at night. And then he goes on to say, regardless of the quality, keep doing your best. No more and no less than your best. If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed. In the end, your best will not be enough. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself. And it will take you longer to accomplish your goal. I feel like the fourth agreement is essential, and it may be easily dismissed as, oh, that's just common sense. Do your best. And we as individuals tell our children, oh, you just have to do your best. But the older we get and the hardened we get, and the more we get hit with the realities of a cruel life, we become cynical and we become complacent. We've become comfortable with the person and the characteristics we agree to be. You see this when we refuse to stop being stubborn and stop being arrogant. And I'm just this way. This is who I am. And what I gathered from that is when you do your best, it is a promise to stay aligned in your natural rhythm. It is a promise for yourself to limit self-erasure with your decisions and with your actions. Self-erasure comes in when we go against what we truly want in life, what we want for ourselves, our genuine desires, our genuine inclinations in life. The things that in the silence and in the quiet of our home and our minds, we want and we don't communicate to the outside world. You find these in the self-talk in your head. You find this when you look in the mirror and you try to judge yourself, or like the victim and the judge in your head come out to play. But when you do your best, you are waking up every day with the promise to not betray yourself. It's not about how you choose to interact with the world and what you perceive them to believe who you are, or what they believe of you, should I say. But you wake up and you say, hey, you know what? Today I'm going to do my best. Today I'm going to show up for myself. And having the conversation and the dialogue to say, what is showing up for myself today? What does that mean? What am I going to do? What do I need to do? What do all those dreams that you have and that you talk and you either process them in your head by yourself, or you process them out loud with your friends, or you muse them out loud into the universe when you're quiet, like, oh, I'm going to go do that, or I'm going to go draw, I'm going to be a dancer, or I'm going to be a famous singer, or, you know, oh, I'd really like to live here or I'd like to retire there. Those musings, that's just maybe an echo of your higher self. It's an echo of the possible reality that's out there that you are maybe getting a glimmer of. And when you choose to do your best, you wake up every morning and you say, hey, you know what? Even if I'm tired, even if I'm angry, even if I'm upset, I'm going to do my best to get to where I want to go, to get to where I desire, where I need to go, where not necessarily anyone else believes I can go. And that's when you make that promise to yourself. And I feel like that's the first promise that you need to do. I know that's not the first agreement, but I feel that's the promise that when you wake up, you look in the mirror and you go, hey, hi, how you doing today? And you take internal stock. You go, okay, what's today? Today don't have the attention that I need to have. I have the attention of a gnat. And I have this incredible neck and back pain, and I'm not focused, and I'm tired. I didn't get enough sleep. Whatever it is that you're busy telling yourself in the morning, it's Monday or Tuesday or whatever day of the week it is, right? And you take internal stock of yourself, and then you look at yourself and you say, you know what? I got to just do my best. I have to show up for myself, because it's in the small habits. It's in the keeping those small habits day to day, and the consistency in it. The consistency in it, that eventually you'll find the sanctity in the ritual. And then you'll be like, oh no, even though I am with aches and pains or have the attention of a gnat and the kids are screaming in the background and running around and running amok, I still have to show up for myself. How am I going to show up for myself? I'm going to ground myself and give myself the opportunity and the love and the respect that I need. And then I'm going to do my best. So my best is I'm going to accomplish these goals for myself that I have to do every day. And then when you finally ground yourself and pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and you say, oh, okay, I'm going to interact with the world. And when you interact with the world, you're like, I'm going to do my best. So all those relationships around you that you have, your sister, your mother, your wife, your husband, your brother, your friends, the ones that you choose, take stock in those just the same way as you take stock in the mirror. And you go, I love how they make me feel here. I don't like how they make me feel there. I don't like that when I interact with this person, they always say this, or I see that in them. And this is when you do your best. You do your best to, whatever you put out, your output, you're going to be impeccable with. You're going to be impeccable with your word. You're going to be sincere, kind, and honor your natural rhythm and your natural essence. And you're going to take accountability for it. You're going to be accountable for how that lands to the person. But also understand that they are also people living their own perspectives, living their own traumas, living their own, perpetual existence in their own head, making their own assumptions, and waking up every day and deciding if they're going to do their best. And there has to be some sort of balance between being accountable and understanding that people are exhibiting a version of their own existence. There has to be a balance and a discernment in figuring out what is acceptable for you in your personal relationships when it comes to your day-to-day dealings with the people around you. You have to understand that they come from a different set of parents, a different time period. If you're dealing with your parents, you're dealing with people who've had certain traumas and they have certain emotional capacities, and that they not are going to always stack up to your expectations. So when people fall short, when you see the gaps in communication, and when you see disparity in your relationships, be kind and be accountable. Be accountable for the assumptions that you're putting on them, the agreements you have with them, and be impeccable with your word. But it all starts with doing your best, and understand that their best is what they're doing. But deep down somewhere in there, when you're interacting with these people, understand that what their best is today may not be their best tomorrow, because it is reflected by what they're going through. And what my best is today is nowhere near what my tomorrow is going to be, but it's also most certainly not near what my yesterday was. I have had a growth period, and I have had an extended period of solitude in my life. And that was a symptom, and it was also an opportunity to make sense of everything that was happening to me. And I can tell you that in my past, things weren't put together. Things didn't make sense. My home was a wreck. I did not take the time to invest in myself, invest in my happiness. I allowed life to happen to me, and I was a bystander to it. And when people meet you at different stages of your life, they tend to make these assumptions about you, and they tend to think they have you figured out. And that doesn't allow room for change within these perspectives that people put on you. But I need you to understand the following. Who you are today doesn't have to be your reality tomorrow. It doesn't have to be your reality 3 weeks from now. It doesn't have to be your reality 10 years from now. The person that I was 15 years ago is not the person that I am now. But you also have to give yourself permission to tell people that no, I no longer subscribe to that narrative of me. When they're still trying to drag you into the version of themselves that they see in you, or the version of you that they see. I said that all backwards, but you know what I mean. Basically, they met you, they had these perceptions of you, they compared themselves to that version of you. And eventually, when you start to try to break these barriers, and you try to break these narratives, and you try to be in competition for yourself, just like you're not in competition with anyone, but there's people that when they start to see that you're vibrating at a different vibration and you're evolving, and it doesn't require anyone's rescue or help, they start to take stock in themselves. And they do it in a negative fashion. And they do it by giving backhanded comments. They do it by, oh, I remember when you used to do this. Or, yeah, I remember your house used to be like that. Or, I remember when your children used to act this way. And what it does, it rehashes trauma. Because when you say these type of things, you don't realize that the environment that these people are in, like me, was an environment of survival. It was an environment of this is the best I can do with the resources I had. And my life in trauma was not a reflection of someone who was stable, someone who was in control of their emotions, someone who embraced clarity and was inquisitive of trying to understand others versus trying to feel like I knew and I understood everything. It's a level of arrogance that people don't like to admit. And I'm sure that there was something in me that had done that for myself as well. In survival, you're trying to muster up energy to live. You're trying to muster up energy to survive what is happening to you. And things fall. Like, you don't get up that day. You don't brush your teeth, but you're just ambiating, trying to like reorient yourself. The reason why the house is a mess and you have dishes in the sink and you have baskets and baskets of laundry and you're on autopilot. You're creating the task that you have to do to survive for the moment, and you don't have systems implemented to assist you in solving those issues. What's the best thing to do when you have a friend in trauma, in survival, in these moments? Don't judge. Show up. Show a kindness. If it means you go to their house and you wash their dishes without saying anything, just do it. And don't do it for the glory. Don't do it for the gratification. Just do it that, it's something that they don't have to do. If it's cleaning their bathroom or putting their garbage out, if you're the neighbor, put their garbage out. Like, there's things that you can do to lighten the load rather than state the obvious. Because people love to state the obvious. People love to tell people what they could be doing better with their lives. But let me ask you something. How easy is it to remove emotion and baggage from a situation where you can dissect someone else's life, but when the mirror is held to yours, you don't know how to do that, or you don't know how to accept that, or you dance around your problems because it is easier to dance and around them than to actually overcome the fear to solve them. I'm far from perfect. I'm nowhere near that. But I feel very much the grief of the person that I was. I feel very truly sorry for her that she felt so alone and she felt so much shame. And when she examined herself and her life and she looked around and she was grateful for the small things. She was grateful for her children. She was grateful to be there for the day, right? Because I had been fighting for my life. I had familial betrayal, and it happened back to back, and I didn't have the time to fall apart. So I bottled everything up and I suffocated internally, and I chose to focus on things that I could control, which would be like, oh, let me pack boxes. Let me do things that were going to distract me. But really, it was just a sense of avoidance. I was trying to avoid my feelings. I was trying to avoid like being able to feel anything. I wanted to feel numb. I wanted it to go away. I didn't want to feel the pain. And I need you to understand that if you're there, if you're in that moment right now, it's okay. You're not alone, because in the world, there are people that are going through heart-breaking, gut-wrenching, soul-shattering moments right now. And those moments don't necessarily align with the happy cookie cutter aesthetic of what family and individuality is supposed to mean. And when you compare yourself socially to your counterparts in the world, you're going to come up lacking. You're going to come up as if there is no value to you. And this is when you need to focus on the small things. You have oxygen in your lungs, you have children, you have family, or you have a job, or you just have a pet. Whatever small mercy there is that life has bestowed on you, hold it, cherish it, love it. And then understand that the same way that you're holding, cherishing, loving that X thing, that is exactly how you need to treat yourself. Because when you don't treat yourself with love and you don't embody grace for yourself and kindness for yourself, and you don't talk nicely to yourself, and you're not impeccable with your word for yourself, and you're not doing your best, and you're making assumptions about yourself, you're not nourishing the parts of you that are going to give you the strength to overcome what you're going through. I invested several amounts of years in loving individuals and putting energy into individuals and seeing potential and pouring so much strength into them and making excuses for them, that I magnetized them and I removed the luster from myself. I magnetized them and they propelled forward, and I was left behind to pick up the pieces of the individual that they broke. And it wasn't just their fault in the breaking, but they contributed to it. And now that I am operating from a place that is not trauma and it's not survival, I can look back and reflect and be accountable for my inaction as well as my action in life. So I ask of you today to do your best, and everything else will fall where it needs to fall. And if you make that promise to yourself to do your best, and you do it small, actionable steps every day, sooner or later, it's just going to be automatic. It's going to be autopilot, and it's going to be natural, and it's just going to be this light that you emit onto the world because the light is coming from you. Bye.